This is your market intelligence report for August 26, 2026. Based on the last 24 hours, geo and macro. Hormuz talks live, hotter PCE cools risk. Iran-Oman Hormuz talks advance, while corridor risk stays priced. Iranian Revolutionary Guard said Iran and Oman reached agreements on a share of Hormuz and related revenues. A senior Iranian source said both sides are still working on a full Strait of Hormuz accord. US messaging claimed mines were cleared from the strait. European equities stayed muted as investors weighed the talks against US inflation. Oil had a choppy session on the diplomacy tape. Deal talk can whip oil and risk assets both ways. Treat vessel traffic and insurance premia as the confirmation, not the press cycle alone. July US PCE prints hotter. Risk assets give back the open. July PCE came in slightly hotter than markets wanted and kept inflation above the Fed's comfort zone. Bitcoin failed to hold a challenge of $80K, gold and stocks softened, and the dollar firmed as rate path odds edged less dovish. Focus now shifts toward Fed Chair Kevin Warsh's Jackson Hole keynote Friday. Macro is a headwind into the weekend, not a thesis killer by itself, unless ETF flows flip with it. Watch Hormuz transit facts versus PCE aftershocks into Friday's Fed speech. Crypto market. ETF bids strong. Price cooling after a 23% week. Spot BTC ETFs print 7th green session. Majors coil under $79K. At this cut, Bitcoin about $78,288. ETH about $2,464. XRP about $1.37. Sol about $96.5. Bitcoin is still up roughly 23% over 7 days after the August rip, with XRP having led the bounce and now leading the giveback as leverage stacks back on. Last completed US spot Bitcoin ETF session, August 25th, netted about plus $314.3 meters. IBIT the heavy driver in same-day coverage. That is session 7 of an inflow streak. August 26th's far side row is still blank 0. Do not count it. Coverage also flags August ETF demand north of $3B into the move and at about $6.4B Bitcoin options expiry Friday that can amplify strike noise. Two truths can sit together. The product bid is real and the day trade tape is taking a breather. Flows bought, the wick is negotiating. Old wallets move. CryptoQuant wants $83K for official bull confirm. 6 wallets dormant more than a decade moved tens of millions in BTC between August 16th and 26th, about $40 meters cited in the window. CryptoQuant said Bitcoin has entered bull market conditions on its framing, but still wants a cross of about $83K / the 365-day moving average for official confirmation. Fear and greed had spiked into the low 70s after sitting near 27 less than 2 weeks earlier. Supply from long sleep coins plus greed gauges rising fast is classic post-rip digestion risk, not automatic trend death. Rails Pulse, no material Ripple, Stellar, Metallicus product calendar dominated the 24-hour window. The louder Rails tape sat in bank consortia, custody rulemaking, and stablecoin distribution covered below. Quiet key account day. Institutional plumbing carried the story. 7th day ETF green plus price cool-off under $79K after a violent week higher. TradFi convergence. Bank chains and deposit plumbing accelerate. Bank Chain Alliance. 39 US state banking groups target 2027 network. 39 US state banking associations announced the Bank Chain Alliance to build an industry-owned nationwide blockchain for tokenized deposits, stablecoin-style settlement, and on-chain payments. Target launch 2027. The pitch is shared infrastructure, so smaller banks are not locked to a single mega-vendor chain. This is deposit-based defense and regulated settlement plumbing racing stablecoin float. Highest signal bank rails item of the cut. Dallas Fed puts about $700 B figure on faster, rate-sensitive deposits. Dallas Fed research has warned that more programmable, yield-sensitive deposits, including AI agent-driven switching, could cut banks' interest rate risk capacity by about $700 B in 10-year equivalent terms under a 10% rise in deposit rate sensitivity. Faster outflows push banks towards safer assets and can raise borrowing costs. A central bank research desk is pricing the plumbing fight in dollars. That is not anti-crypto spin, it is balance sheet math. Stablecoin distribution and credit rails expand in parallel. Revolut began a phased Euro roll stablecoin rollout to selected customers in Denmark, Poland, and Portugal via Bridge, Stripe-owned, as regulated issuer. Shinhan Financial Group teamed with Visa to test stablecoin issuance, remittance, redemption, and AI-powered payment models. Coinbase and Better made token-backed mortgages generally available to Coinbase One members, 1% closing cost credit flagged. Galaxy opened retail crypto-backed credit lines on Bitcoin, Ether, and staked Solana at 8.99% APR. Japan's FSA Finance Ministry BOJ track is mapping blockchain settlement for stocks and bonds with a development plan aimed at early 2027. BlackRock cut its Bitcoin ETF in-kind swap minimum to $1 meters in reported coverage. Taurus linked digital asset platforms towards Swift's blockchain ledger path for first institutional connections. Speculators argue candles. Banks, fintechs, and brokers are wiring deposits, mortgages, euro stablecoins, and settlement rails. Regulatory agency rule path live. Statute odds still soft. SEC crypto custody rewrite enters White House OMB review. The SEC sent a crypto custody rule overhaul to the White House Office of Management and Budget, item dated around August 25th. The planned rule would clarify how investment advisors and investment companies hold digital assets for clients after withdrawal of a separate 2023 proposal. This sits alongside the broader regulation crypto assets offering track, still in the comment cycle from earlier this month. Custody clarity is the boring unlock for real allocator plumbing. It does not replace market structure statute. It fills what the agency can reach alone. Clarity Act 2026 signature odds stay deeply skeptical. Polymarket Clarity Act HR 3633, signed into law in 2026, sits near about 14 cents yes, about 86 cents no at this cut, about $11 meters volume cited on the event page. A large fresh wallet bet earlier this week leaned hard into the no side. Process risk from the ethics fight and missed recess windows remains the tape. Do not trade hopium off a bill the crowd still prices as a long shot for a 2026 signature. CFTC path for US oil perpetuals gets a policy push. Hyperliquid Policy Center and Trade XYZ urge the CFTC to create a regulatory path for US oil perpetual contracts. Secondary to custody and clarity, but it shows derivatives policy pressure expanding beyond pure crypto perps. DeFi and RWA, at-player stress plus long horizon staking design. Core Lightning tells node operators to go offline pending patch. The Core Lightning team told operators who have not upgraded to run nodes offline. Fixed binaries were not yet published at the cut, with details under a 2-week embargo. Lightning Ops risk is live and operational. Treat it as infrastructure hygiene, not a price thesis. Ethereum deposit contract overhaul aims at quantum-resistant validator keys. Ethereum developers floated a first-step deposit contract change, allowing larger quantum-resistant validator keys. Coverage cites growth toward 8,192 byte keys and a permanent switch off today's BLS deposit format over time. Long Horizon protocol work. Do not confuse it with near-term ETF or bank deposit tokenization. Layer 0 Atlas Settlement Engine, Solana Treasury Dashboards. Layer 0 announced Atlas as a new settlement engine. ZRO reacted hard off local lows in same-day tape. Nasdaq-listed DeFi Development Corp, SOL Treasury, about 2.3 meters SOL, about $208 meters, launched a State of Solana dashboard and is pitching fundamentals beyond SOL price after shares fell about 16% YTD. Bridge settlement design and public market treasury optics are the DeFi RWA color, secondary to bank deposit rails today. AI and blockchain. Agents meet bank deposits, big tech capex loud. Dallas Fed links agentic AI to faster deposit switching. The same Dallas Fed note ties AI agents to automated yield chasing across banks the moment a better rate appears, the mechanism behind the about $700 B duration capacity warning. This is the AI times Rails crossover that matters more than another chatbot demo. NVIDIA tops estimates. SoftBank OpenAI financing chatter. Gates goes public on AI risk. Nvidia topped earnings estimates and guided about $108 B revenue next quarter. SoftBank was reported mulling up to a $20 B bond sale tied to OpenAI financing. Bill Gates is more alarmed on AI policy and wants that conversation in front of major governments, including China. Google shipped Gemini audio transcription that strips ums, ahs across 85+ languages. China's Minimax saw first-half revenue nearly quadruple on AI demand. CapEx and policy anxiety are both rising. For crypto, the durable link is agents on money movement and power compute adjacency, not AI ticker hopium. Prediction markets. Policy odds compressed. Platform fundraising hot. Clarity 2026 yes stays about 14 cents. Kalshi private raise prints $1.12 B. Polymarket Clarity Act 2026 signature yes, about 14 cents on roughly $11 meters event volume. Separately, Kalshi's Form D path shows about $1.12 B raised via private equity offerings since April. 71 investors, about 3/4 of a $1.5 B offering sold in coverage. Earlier chatter had floated a much higher valuation round still in market talk. Named Clarity odds still match the ethics process risk in the regulatory section. Platform fundraising is a different story from bill passage. Risks and opportunity. Risks. Hormuz false dawn. Talk and partial accords without durable transit rules can whip oil and crypto beta both ways. Hotter PCE plus Jackson Hole. Inflation stickiness keeps rate path risk live into Friday's Fed speech. BTC digestion after a 23% week. Leverage unwind. XRP leading. Dormant wallet supply. And Friday's about $6.4 B options expiry can extend the cool-off, even while ETFs bid. Lightning Bridge Ops. Core Lightning offline guidance is a live operational risk for that stack. Opportunities. ETF demand still the cleaner tell. Last completed session August 25th plus $314.3 meters. 7-session inflow streak. August product demand remains the quiet engine. Bank settlement rails. Bank Chain 2027 plus Dallas Fed's $700 B framing confirmed tokenized deposits are a structural fight, not a pilot press release. SEC custody rewrite in OMB review. Agency path for advisor fund digital asset custody is real progress while clarity stays soft. Stablecoin plus credit distribution, Revolut Euro R, Shinhan Visa, Coinbase Better Mortgages, Galaxy 8.99% credit lines expand real-world use. Recommendations. Short-term 1 to 4 weeks. Track Hormuz transit versus headline. Confirm vessel insurance moves before treating diplomacy as a risk-on green light. Respect the ETF calendar. Use completed far-side days only. Do not invent August 26th flows while the row is blank. Size around Friday. About $6.4 B BTC options expiry plus Jackson Hole can dominate take noise over fundamentals for 24 to 48 hours. Midterm, 1 to 3 months. Bank chain plus tokenized deposit design. Who joins, what shared network standard, and how it competes with USDC/USDT float. SEC custody proposal text. Watch OMB clearance and the actual advisor fund rule language. Clarity process map. Keep positions honest to about teens yes odds until ethics and floor path change. Long term, 6 to 12 months. Commercial bank money on-chain versus stablecoin float. Multi-bank deposit tokens are both competitor and complement to public stablecoins. Agent governance on money movement. Dallas Fed's agentic switching story will become a procurement and risk topic for financial AI. Japan Securities Settlement DLT. Early 2027 development plans are slow rails that stick if capital stays onshore. Risk warnings. High risk structural. Energy corridor geopolitics can reprice faster than any crypto-native narrative. US market structure legislation remains process fragile. Agency rules are not a full substitute. ETF creations, redemptions, and spot price can diverge for extended periods. Cross-chain bridges, Lightning ops, and hardware seed paths remain high-impact failure points, even when L1s are healthy. AI agent automation of deposits and trading can amplify runs and leverage cycles. This report is intelligence, not a trade ticket. Size and custody decisions stay with the principal. Key metrics. BTC band, cool off under about $79K after about 23% 7-day gain. CryptoQuant official bull confirm framed near about $83K / 365-day MA. US spot BTC ETF flows, last completed 25 org plus $314.3 meters. 7-session inflow streak, 26 org incomplete. Majors at cut, ETH about $2,464, XRP about $1.37, Sol about $96.5. Friday, about $6.4 BTC options expiry. Fed Chair Wash Jackson Hole keynote. July PCE, hotter than wanted print still in the macro tape. Polymarket Clarity 2026 yes, about 14 cents. Bank Chain Alliance, 39 state groups, 2027 target. Dallas Fed tokenized deposit duration capacity warning, about $700 B, 10-year equivalent framing. SEC crypto custody rewrite, White House ONB review. Revolut Euro RR, Denmark, Poland, Portugal phased rollout. This is not financial advice. This has been your daily market intelligence report for the August 26, 2026.